We are again, YouTube. It's Thursday. Again. And we train. Again. Just gonna warm up a little bit. Oh, yeah. Really let the wrists go, you know? I need to get more strict about my left side. I do it a lot less often. So my lines are just like way more wobbly, you know? This side, pretty consistent. You know, I can like let the wrist go and still be really consistent. But this one, what do you want to bet it's shonen? $20 says it's shonen. Come on. Who we got? Come on, tell me. Welcome to the dojo. Oh, do not smash the overhead. Ki optional, okay? Oops. Here, through the middle, block, pick up that foot. Oops. Here, one, step through, cross, there it is. And then we come here. Here, and I am jamming this like this, right? Straight down the pipe. Can you see? Cool, cool. Os, how you doing, Inda? How's your Thursday? Or maybe Friday, depending on what we're talking about. Sensei takes, well, not really requests, but if you got a sick combo that you want to put in chat, I will try it, okay? If it's good, if it's interesting. Okay, it's crazy. It's been 3 minutes and nobody has told me I don't know how to fight yet. Amazing. Okay, let's get Bob in here. All right, Bob, say hello to everyone. I try and trick him, you know, but he's consistent, aren't you, Robert? See, the trick is getting your knee up here. That's my target, right? Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Warming up the hips, you know? You know? You feel me? You feel me? Huh? Sensei asked you a question. Do you feel me? You know what I mean? Okay. Bob, please. We have guests. Okay. Andrew Tate is back. Look who started the board today. Let's go with blue. Okay, Bob, if you could help me out here, please. Bob, I swear to God, he's difficult on purpose. Here we go. Who do I look like? Andrew Tate. The first and most common suggestion. Please, somebody give me something better. Nicole, Os, Alvarado, what are you doing to him? Whatever I wish. You're saying I look like Captain Underpants, right? You want me to put it on the board? You're probably a better human being than him. Thank you, Martian. That is a lot more credit than most people give me. They see this, and then everyone starts freaking out about how much tougher they are than me and how, I can't do anything. Okay, Alvarado, Captain Underpants. That's a new one. I like it. I was never really into Captain Underpants. I think it took off after I was kind of out of the age range. Captain Underpants. 1. That's a solid tie. I like that. What else we thinking, chat? And let me give you a good look. Okay, here it's crucial that you see the side profile, right? Because the head has a very interesting shape back here, might influence your decision. Yeah, my little bro is obsessed with him. Like, legitimately obsessed, or is it like how everyone talks about 6'7", but it's like it's like a meta troll, Yeah, it's a noggin. I got a little cereal bowl back here. Okay. All right. First. That's right. First. That's what that wants to be, is the takedown. You know what I mean? Bob knows what I mean, but he's bottom heavy. You did karate? What kind of style? I'm primarily Goju man, but I've trained a bunch. But I stopped. A lot of people stop. I stopped. I did about like a year and a half or so when I was like 10 to 11. Then I did another couple years when I was like 15. And then I did another 3 years in my 30s. So everyone has a different timeline. Mine certainly was not optimal. Do you do anything else? Physical? Training-wise? Bro's head is smoother than my friend's grades. And I've got a little bit of shadow, too. So it could be smoother. Is that juice or water? It is water with, I think it's like Mio. It's like a flavor additive. That'd be a lot of juice to chug down while I'm like sloshing my stomach around. Okay. See, if I just place this kind of here, I don't need to do anything except keep him from reflexively, and I can come up pretty. That's interesting. That's interesting. Because I like to be really aggressive, but, subtlety has its place, too. Oops. got me, Bob. Uh-oh. I lost the spin protector. Mortal Kombat combo. I don't remember them, so you'll have to call them out, you know? I'm trying to remember which belt it was that we learned the ice freeze slide. Can't remember. Blue, maybe? Bob, don't embarrass me. In front of everybody, okay? I'm the lead side fighter. I mean, how it looks. Ah, yeah. Oh, okay. That's an interesting question. What would my Mortal Kombat combo be? Ooh, I think something like grab both hands, front kick to the throat or something. Maybe rip the throat out with my toes. That's an interesting idea. Thank you. You know what I mean? See, the important thing is that you get into range. Oh, feels good. Little stretch, you know? Who's your favorite Mortal Kombat character? I think I'm partial to Shang Tsung. Also, Reptile. Oh. Why don't you take a break, Bob? It's not like I pay you. Goro from Mortal Kombat. Bro, what I wouldn't give for another set of arms right here. Scorpion. Or Irma's? Who's that? I've been told to look like Kano. I think it's really just the beard. Ermac. Man, there's so many good characters. Is it Cyborg or is it Jax? Jax, there's the Cyborg with the saw that comes out of the front, you know? That'd be sweet. Okay. Let's do a little Goju. Seipai. Every fucking kata. Okay. Trying to unfurl it. I'm trying to orient myself so you guys can see me at all times, so if I get a little off, that's why. Should have done. Let's see. Let me hit that again. It's this one. Aye. See, that's what happens when I turn myself around too much. Kakyuke. Let's do that again. Here. Try that again. Champagne. Champagne. That's where it is. It's like my version of Henry Cavill's reloading. It's a little long. There we go. Up, unfurl, and trying to, there it is. Okay. How we feeling, party people? We feeling good? We feeling okay? It's almost Friday. Can't come soon enough. You know what I mean? Do you remember what style of karate you practiced? Eli? Already turned, but I want to turn more for that block. I don't know what those words mean. They're interesting. You've stumped me. There it is. It's somewhere. Up. I'm trying to drive up this way to exchange here. One, two, oops, two. See, I usually do a strike so that there's a third for that. Three here. Gotta be easy. Oh, try some Bruce Lee moves. Okay. There's like a lightning fast back fist. Let's see how fast that can be. Okay. I gotta take it easy today. Okay, let's see. feel like I could punch faster. Hold on. Bam! Bam! You want to see real Bruce Lee moves. This is probably what you want. Upside down. Oops. Woo-hoo! That was a miracle. We did not hit the feet. Okay. That was kind of a toss. Same idea. Where is Sensei Venti, the punching bag dummy? You can see his hand here. He's taking a break. There he is. Alvaro, Eli Os. Thanks for stopping by. Try saying pow instead. It'll increase your strength by 87%. Okay. All right, bet. Are we talking like pow or like Owen Wilson, like pow, 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 pow. I mean, it feels better for sure. Mike always flies off. I'm terrified. Alien versus me? I feel like the natural-born predator from space probably would kill me. I don't think karate really, like, breaking boards doesn't really prepare you for acid, you know? In fact, I'm, like, incredibly weak to acid, as it turns out. So, even if I did wound him, I've already lost enough hair. I don't need to burn off any more. Back of the head. Back of the head. Front of the balls. You guys get it. You get it. You get me. You know? Interesting. Open hand. Bigfoot versus you. Well, Bigfoot's gonna have the strength, but Bigfoot hasn't watched my fight footage, so he doesn't know that my first love is the ashibarai, right? Foot sweep. Whoop! Bigger the feet, the bigger they fall, right? And I think I want to say something about, I read something in the physics, something or other, where a T-Rex is so big that if it tripped and fell, like the force of it hitting the ground would like almost certainly be an instant death. So, you know, the bigger he is, the farther he's got to accelerate. But I think probably I lose. To be honest with you, probably a loss. You know what I mean? Epstein versus me, who's going to win? I'm going to win. Particularly because he hasn't been really animate in quite a while. It's really going to help in my favor. One Punch Man, Carlos. Thank you. We're putting it on the board. One for Andrew Tate, one for Captain Underpants, and now One Punch Man. Too many push-ups and sit-ups? Is there such a thing? One Punch Man. One. There can only be one, right? Are you saying you are sick to your stomach from doing too many push-ups and sit-ups? I should probably do a push-up. All right, I'll do one push-up. Okay? Because that's all I need. If I'm One Punch Man, you know? Okay. The difference is, can you see? Okay, here we go. We'll do it this way. I'm not lying on the ground, okay? I just like holding the bottom position. Wink. I'll do one more hold. I don't know if I can come up from this, though. I'll do a little moving around. Oh, that's nice. Isolate the triceps. Diddy versus you. Again, I think I win immediately. Here's my plan of attack for Diddy. Okay? He's sitting there, right? He's oiled up, you know, as he's wont to do. I simply do one of these. Right? He loses control of himself. At that moment, front kick through the window into the pool, floating, right? Too easy. You think Diddy's working out in prison? No. No. He's yanking his crank, just like he did on the outside. Okay. What else do I want to do? Shisochin is interesting. I'm going to look at this on Bob after. I have Diddy nightmares. What can it help me? I tried fighting the thoughts. Agrano something says ninja. Not quite, but I appreciate that. How would you defeat a grappler? Probably with striking, right? If they come in, I'm gonna use knees. I'll sprawl. I'm pretty good at like surfing on top of people. Sprawl. I mean, I know a little bit of grappling. Bob is wearing my white belt. But, you know, everyone says like, hey, what would you do against a grappler? No one asks like a grappler, like, hey, are you able to leg lock me while I'm bashing your orbital bone in with my elbow? You know? Samurai versus you. Who's going to win this time? Probably a samurai. I assume he's armed, you know? Well, I mean, I'd still lose, but I would probably take these. Right, everyone talks about the sai, and oh yeah, they're metal, and that's cool, but these suckers, look at that blocking surface, right? And I can use this, right, with my normal boxing, plus I have all of the cool stuff from nunchucks. Carlos, I cannot fight a man in my thoughts who's chasing me and making me fear my life and life alive. He offers me talent and money. He offers you talent? Bro, fuck money. If you know someone that can give you talent, I'm just saying I'm gonna hear him out. Carlos is Diddy's boy. I don't know if he had one. I think he had many. What my kick? Carlos, I can't show that message, but it is funny. All right? I do read the censored ones. I don't know what spill your kick means. Like spill the secrets, like front kick, roundhouse, spinning. You know, there's like the hook kicks, the crescents, which I don't agree with. You know, they're hard on my back. You know, it's just like why why don't we do this? It's a move. Not a good one. There's one that we see in Kata all the time. It's called Mikazuki Geri. Okay? Crescent kick. You the theory is like someone has either a weapon or they have a hand on you and you like break the guard with your leg. I'm never gonna try that shit. I don't know, but I might hire this man to protect me. Look, I got tonfa, nunchucks, I got sai. Let's pull all the Ninja Turtle weapons out, okay? I got the sai. All right. Ga 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 ga, crack. I mean, there's only a few things you can do with these, right? One is punch with this end, or you punch with this end, hit, right? You can block. Can you hold gravity? Defying gravity. I might hire him to attack me. Right? How about an axe kick? The axe kick is kind of hard on my back nowadays. I used to spam them when I was young and invincible. But let's see. I don't feel comfortable landing an axe kick on anything. I've tried it. I've tried using the axe kick to break boards, right? Straight down. But it's like, it's kind of like if you hit something with a straight leg, it's gonna jam your knee, right? It's like the same thing as if your arm is extended and someone hit this at the very end. It's gonna, you know, so it feels awful for me if you use the straight leg. Now, I could totally see using a bent leg and kind of like hook kicking in a little bit. You know, let's see if I can do it to Bob's hand. Like slapping down, that I can see. But the setup takes forever. do a little stance training. Mark. Oh, hello. Oh, I didn't see that was you that asked the question. I use the axe kick during sparring matches. People won't see it coming. Yeah. Because, like, it's like, it's too hard and it kind of hurts and, it's this whole thing. Andy Hoog. I'm sure you've talked about him before, Mark. I mean, with your history, I'm really getting into fudodachi. Kind of like this in-between stance. I was playing Blade and Sorcery the other day, and I was like doing all this shit, and I just kept finding myself like in this sort of stance, like kind of inwardly rotated, but like cranked in here. Pom, pom, pom. It's interesting. John Cena versus you. Who's going to win? Me. Here's what I do, okay? He's going to go for a grab. I'm going to go straight for the knees, right? He obviously has knee injuries. He can barely walk. So first thing, front kick to the kneecap. Second, low kick, kneecap. Ashibarai, sweep, But the problem is I gotta throw like a bucket of sand on him or something so that I'm going to be able to see his outline. You know what I mean? Like that's obviously the hardest hurdle to get over is like finding him in space. Andrew Tate. I know what you mean. You are number 2. Voting for Andrew Tate. We have one for Captain Underpants and one for One Punch Man. So not a bad spread so far tonight. Usually they're quite a bit worse. I'll show this against my better judgment. Your pee feels weird. Well, I'm not a doctor, so I can't really help you. Mark Wolf, it's good you have a solid stance, but also begins fluid without wasting energy. And yeah, and that's what at my age and training level, that's where I'm at, I want to be able to like comfortably relax down into a stable, reinforced position. But like you said, I can move around here. The knees are kind of soft. I can kind of do a lot from this place. And I really like having this pre-rotated. I've talked about this before, but like I like to have this kind of out so I can flick that side out. So having it kind of pre-cocked lets me kind of like, I'm facing forward, but what I'm really, that's where I am. I've just shifted it, right? So pop, that hook comes out. This is Andrew Tate's cousin. Brother what? Tate? Pretty good. Love the leaderboard. I mean, we have over like 20 Andrew Tate references at this point, just from like the past week and a half. Most of the others are one-offs. Like Mac from Always Sunny. Yeah, you've already voted, so I can't put that up. But yeah, I'm definitely, but here's the thing, but I am the black belt, and I am shredded. Well, not shredded. I'm something. I'm in shape. I don't have the adult toy bike, however. I don't think it'll fit in the dojo. Have you ever heard of 5 Swords? It sounds familiar. Move in after completion. The sweet, sweet moves. I've been playing with this like very relaxed footwork where I'm kind of relying on the passive tension in the tissues and the bones to like settle. So instead of like blowing forward, right? I'm kind of like, I'm holding myself up here. I'm going to sink into this hip, which brings my center over this leg. Not 100% though, which means I'm going to fall back out, right? In karate, we do this circular sea walking, right? Not like that kind of sea walking, unfortunately. But I'm trying to do it with physics, right? So it's like I roll over onto this hip, I'm like overturned onto it. I lift this leg up, let it drag, and I kind of fall onto it into that other hip, which allows me to bang Muay Thai. Oh yes. I can't remember. I was like a yellow shirt, I think. Going for orange shirt because it's not belts, but it's belts. Batman versus you, who gonna win? Batman, brother. Batman fights toe-to-toe with like Superman. You know, I know he has plot armor, but China belt. No, Japan belt. It's kanji. Shifting, we call it shifting. Ah, well, of course, an art like yours is gonna already be on top of like the you know, the settled like rolling, energetic kind of Andrew Tate. God damn it, Dr. Piggy. That's a good name. I like that. I like that. Someone was asking for a doctor earlier. Someone said their pee-pee hurt. I don't know if you can do anything about that. Okay, one more for Andrew Tate, which brings it up to 3. One for Captain Underpants, one for One Punch Man. Okay? I cannot wait for Andrew Tate to become completely irrelevant. Double against FanCon. Second Dan? Hell yeah. Andrew Tate teaching martial arts. Andrew Tate wishes. Andrew Tate looks like he has a motor problem. He leans forward when he fights and he like reaches like this. Like it's like it'd be funny, but like I'm actually legitimately concerned he has some sort of like brainstem thing. But like I said, says Kwang, the steps are relative. It might as well be like you're stepping off angle in the same stance. It's just a step. Exactly. And I'm just playing with like the slight angles, you know, landing here versus landing here. I mean, you get it. Dr. Piggy, I'm an ortho surgeon. I don't do pee-pee. Well, shit. I've seen orthos for my back. So my last ortho was like yoked. Dude was like a bodybuilder, which was I was like, you know what? I trust this guy. KP, good evening. Os. Good to see you again. So you can remind UA of him again? I think they are already reminded. Mike Tyson versus you, who gonna win? I don't know. Is he being paid to lose the goddamn fight? Is Netflix involved? Because if so, then yeah, I'm gonna win. But if he actually goes for it, no, he's gonna eat me alive like a pit bull. I love the martial arts. Shonen, evening, what are we drinking today? Oh, it is Mio Energy. It's just a little additive in the water. It's got like B vitamins, caffeine, a little bit. Filipino martial arts. Mark, oh yeah. Dude, I need to get onto like, well, Eskrima is dope, you know, but like Silat, there's all these arts in these like, you know, especially like Filipino martial arts. It's like they train it kind of old school, but it's about modern threats, you know, like knives and shit. Super cool. Hello, Scarlett. Oh, how are we this evening? It's almost Friday. KP, I've been MIA due to working on my car and other stuff. Miss chatting with you, bud. Oh, KP. I've been thinking about you. I've got something happened with my car. It's like something's bumping around. I don't really know. But I'm not a car man. So I'm here doing karate while the car, you know, let's straighten you out. Robes rock. What martial art do you practice? I'm primarily a Goju karateka. I've trained in a bunch of stuff, but this is my favorite. You are so right. Well, Mark, you're so right as well. See, but when you watch me hit the bag, I don't do a lot of point sparring. Well, I haven't done point sparring in years, but you know, I throw in elbows, knees, takedown. Oh, I mean, I was always allowed to use takedowns, but Goju-ryu. Yep. Hard and soft. Actually, it should be like this. Right? I love it. And it has all of this like hand fighting in there. Most of my senseis, they'd be like, okay, well, you know, this move is splitting the guard, or, you know, anyway, let's move on to something else. And it's like, no, let's piss me off. We spend 1.5 minutes on application of techniques, and then 40 minutes where it's like, go practice your kata. Those shifts are nice. Thank you. That means a lot coming from you. Teleportation or flying? My answer was flying. Teleportation is obviously the OP answer, but the experience of flight, it's like, I mean, if you can fly, you can go on America's Got Talent and be the world's best acrobat, dancer, whatever, right? Limbo champion, just fly. You probably already know this, but you should use those shifts to get out of the train tracks on both sides. Kind of like Sean O'Malley, basketball footwork. Totally. Well, and the other thing I'm kind of feeling in that stance is like, because I'm like shored up here, I have good like lateral movement, right? Which means I can go laterally this way. Instead of stepping, I can kind of shift Mike Tyson style, if you will, or switch, right? And now I'm totally on the 45, ready for a head kick, right? I can here. So I'm totally all about that. And people found it really annoying to fight me, because a lot of people want to fight and they're like, okay. But like, it's like, okay, here's the target. But I just constantly be like moving, you know, move in and then move out for no reason, like random switches. And so they're like stuttering. A lot of these angles are so good because you are making it so it's one side of their body fighting you. Oh, totally. And, you know, I think it's very strategic, like leaving part back, because it's also like when things are not in front of you, you kind of like lose sight of them in your mind, right? So like if I kind of present this Yeah, you can't get to like the bad side of my back, which, but I can have this hand kind of low here, and then it's kind of coming out of nowhere. But you understand. I think we understand each other very well, Quang. Mark Wolf, I studied under Jeff Speakman, the perfect weapon, movie star. He's 9th degree in Kempo. God damn it, Mark. It's like you pull out another celebrity teacher. I did 6 years with this guy, and then I met I trained with Arnold Schwarzenegger for a few years. No big deal. KP, what are your thoughts about Dominic Cruz's footwork style? I have a lot of thoughts. Thought one is that the fact that he developed a system to it, like, I do a lot of footwork kind of randomly, like I am very much an improvised kind of person, which he does, but he's broken it down into like certain angles, certain head positions. It feels like it's too much, but he's very hard to nail in the head and in the body, because it's like, it's hard, like you can always get your head moving, but it's hard to get this totally offline. But with these big dips, the other thing is that because he makes these big movements, these big shifts of weight, he can build a lot of momentum very easily. So it's like he dodges and then gets all of this energy to either launch himself or come back around this way. So it's very interesting. I think it has a lot of weaknesses. In terms of he goes very wide with his feet a lot, and he kind of leaves one out. I feel like you could hook it and pull it out, But maybe he's prepped for that. Don't be afraid to go more square, but don't be stagnant while you're going square. If your feet are wider than your shoulders, you can exit out on either side. We do. I'm friends with Dominic Cruz. Yeah, we got celebrities. Oh, Smark, thanks for stopping by. Good to see you, man. One time, this is from Quang. One time I asked Dominic Cruz, who was fighting on that night's UFC card, and he said, "Your mom." Nice. Lomachenko ladder drills is good. Oh yeah, we used to do the agility ladders. You do the this stuff. The Icky Shuffle. Loved that one. That one's hard to teach to kids. It was like 1, 2, out. 1, 2, out. 1, 2, out. But they just ended up going like, I don't really do too many of those drills anymore. I gotta kind of conserve. I only have so many bounces on my spine, so I gotta kind of save them for what I want to work on. That second one is great to get off angle. More something. What's your thoughts on real Aikido? I haven't really seen real Aikido. I mean, I'm familiar with Rokas. He does the Ultimate Self-Defense Championship. So I'm familiar with that, and there are principles from Aikido that definitely work. One of my favorite karate senseis, his name is Rick Houghton. Some of you in chat already know who I'm talking about. But he cross-trained in Aikido, and what he brought from Aikido to his karate is really, really nice. It's used in a real kind of way. I don't think he sparred doing Aikido, but taking those principles and movements and those lines of energy to his karate really transformed it into something that's beautiful. I would love to see a combat Aikido, And look, not everyone needs to train for combat, Some people just need, Aikido's great for learning to fall, control your weight, Those are things that, skills that could keep people alive in their elder years. So there's a lot of like benefit you can get from it. However, I think there are faster ways to gain like basic body mastery than pursuing Aikido. That's just me. I also haven't taken Aikido class, so I'm speaking from personal ignorance too, you know. Shonen, I watched your video on the elbows. Good stuff. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, I love them so much, and I don't get to do them enough. So what I need to do is find like, I need to get back into a like Kyokushin place, or a Kudo place would be dope to really like go for it, you know? Because I mean, you can show elbows, but it's still like, it's not the same as, because like, I'm sure you know this, but you can't go max speed unless you have something to hit, right? Doing it in air, you have to apply the brakes, so that's not 100% of your forward, you know? Aikido to me is like most Kung Fu, fake and useless. Interesting. Kyokushin doesn't seem like a style for smaller people. Well, maybe, but I mean, it's kind of like, I feel like there are only a few styles that really cater to a height difference. Most of the time, if there's a height difference, you're just at a disadvantage, you know? So I would argue that having the ability to kick very high might be valuable from a close distance from Kyokushin. Not that I recommend kicking to the head in a street fight, but if you can't reach and you're weak, I mean, a head kick is still pretty powerful, even from a small person. More, of course. Thank you on your opinion. For me personally, it's not real skill for a fight. More for agility and just keep your body flow. Exactly. And for some people that's enough, and that's great, you know? If they take kind of the Budo part of it, you know, into themselves and it improves their lives, I mean, that can be worth a lot. But time invested for practical skill gained there's like an imbalance. Carlos, sorry I was away. It's okay, Carlos. It's okay. Don't say sorry. Quang, I love Kyokushin too. They just seem to stand in the pocket. Yeah, and that's something they are well known for. They will just tank hits, and it's kind of an endurance battle. And hit each other, exactly, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they block sometimes, but a lot of times they save the blocks for the kicks. They know they're not going to get punched in the face. So they just kind of open up and everyone wails on each other. Shonen, the hits you don't see coming are the ones that leave you stunned. Doesn't have to be a hard shot. Exactly. And, you know, I try and tell that to the MMA bros that come in here, but, you know, they can't hear me because their ears are all plugged up with blood. Enshin Karate is more to my liking, or Ashihara. Ashihara I'm more familiar with. Super cool. Hard to find, though, you know? I don't think I could find that anywhere near me. They're all offshoots of Kyokushin that emphasize attacking on the blind side. Nice. Well, they are smart to. They are right to. What else is I gonna do? I'll do a quick kururunfa. Why not? Kururunfa. It's so much less like dramatic when you don't have a snappy geek. See, a lot of the Goju moves look like Kung Fu, the way it's like, I don't know. I mean, you guys know. Enshin and Ashihara are pretty much the same. Oh, okay. Cool. I learned so much from you guys. It's awesome. God, where was I? All right, here. I want to use my hip to drive that. But I got to keep this knee here. Oops. And I cheat a little bit. Well, I don't know if it's cheating, but here, I push here to like, I take a little bit of weight to like spin this leg and then pull it across. This move that I hate, I don't like it. I feel like it, I don't know, whatever, doesn't matter. I'm thinking about collapsing the elbows in and down, like I'm trying to keep myself from being tickled. Boom. Slam it to the rib cage. Here. And I'll do this part facing you guys, because it's cooler this way. A lot of people do that one really fast. They go 1, 2, but I like to really present it, you know? God, when I stop to talk, I lose my place. Okay, so it's towards the back. It's here. 1, 2. You do your dragon's breath. Video coming out very soon about the dragon's breath. If you know, you know. Rare Breed says this guy would get his ass kicked by a street fighter. Really? That's interesting. You know, we've had people come off the street into the dojo and try and hang, but it never goes like in the anime. Quang, they do. That's how I know you're legit. Movements of harmony. Os. Os. Thank you. I appreciate that. Game recognizes game, you know? I don't know what that means. Kara. Shonen, rare breed. This guy would kick your ass before you knew it happened, kid. Are these dance moves? Well, rare breed, I was a professional dancer. Spending 14 hours a day with athletic, sweaty women. So, they could be. You wish they were. Suck the air in, bruh. WTF are you doing now, Tate? Okay. You've activated my trap card. Not really a trap card. We'll put down 4 for Andrew Tate, 1 for Captain Underpants, and 1 for One Punch Man. Thank you. K-Stroy. I don't know, Dr. Piggy was a much better username. I really like that one. When you watch Sean O'Malley or Cruz, you should pay attention to when their lead foot steps back. Next time their rear foot and their square moving left or right like a basketball player. They can help you understand the shift more. I will. I haven't really looked at Sean O'Malley's footwork, honestly. I'm very focused on like the hands, That's interesting. I'm going to write that down. Okay. Sean O'Malley. Footwork. Basketball. Okay. Thank you. Give me so much material. Too many dance moves. Rare breed, okay. Let's do the old magic trick for rare breed. What do we think? Okay. So let's say you, as a hypothetical, are this insanely experienced street fighter, right? You got your moves, okay, you come in, right? We're ready to scrap. Okay. Now, I'm going to open the fight by kind of warning you that you're not really in the right place, and then you're kicked in the mouth like that. So please continue talking with the ball of my foot in your mouth, okay? Like this. You know where I got that flexibility? The ballet studio. Listen, rare breed, the trolls don't bother us here, okay? Sean O'Malley and Cruz understand the b-ball footwork. I don't really watch basketball either, but what I know of basketball is that they're never like here. They're very much like in these, and the jumps, they don't jump like that. They only just enough. Rare breed. Can I make you sad? Can I make you sad? Here's an interesting way for you to dry your tears. Right here. You see? Right there. Oh, but you fight in the street, right? Oh no! You think it's a point of pride that you fight with shoes on and have to go, car. Okay, fight on. Quinn, think about when you go square. If you do the L step and you bring your lead foot to your rear, then you step your rear out and you square, then you go reset back to your stance. That sort of principle is what I'm finding is like, these steps are very little and they're not super complicated. It's just like, when it's done dynamically, it seems dramatic, but it's actually a lot less dramatic than people want it to be, Well, I mean, that's the story with martial arts, Everyone wants it to be that, a fight's like, and everyone does the legs at the same time. Ashibarai, Mr. Okote. Oh, exactly. See, Mr. Okote understands my trademark moves. Ashibarai. Okay, there's a really good one that I like to do, and I'm going to tell you this, rare breed, because I'm confident I can still pull it off. Okay? Come on, if you go the other way, you step your lead foot next to your rear foot, and you are square. Then you step your rear to your lead to change stance. Fake black belts are pretty funny. Carry on. Anonymous strangers with an attitude really challenge my sense of self-worth. Please continue to troll. I mean, how do you know I'm not legit? You just showed up. You know what I mean? So, I mean, the fact that I could turn you into a vegetable or, you know, do all these things, it doesn't really matter to you, right? Because then it's going to be, oh, well, oh, but what's your pro fight record, right? Well, what is your pro fight record? Or are we just counting fights in the street? How many arrests have you been a part of? Doing both is the Lomachenko agility ladder. Yes. Oh, interesting. I mean, that's what you do. Study the greats. Take a little piece here, a little piece there. Oh, Rusty Shackelford. You play with a dummy. Today I'm playing with a couple dummies. Prove you're a black belt or I will buy your belt on Temu. Sebastian Parker 420. Okay, first of all, weird attitude coming from a 420 place. That's Rusty Shackelford. He's in the CIA. You fix your gi. The last one was ripped under the armpit. It's still ripped. I am slowly mending it. It's just it's canvas, so it's a fucking bitch to sew. So I have this huge ass needle, and I have to like force it through, and I'm trying to, because they don't make that gi anymore. So, you know, I'm working. This is a new softer gi. Is this your only gi? Oh no, I have a Juka Dragon and Juka Emerald. Those are my favorite, but those are the ripped up ones. I have more than one ripped up gi top. I have an Arawaza Okinawan cut where it's like really high on the calf and the forearm. It's a little, it feels like I'm kind of stuffed into it a little bit. That's like my, I don't really give a shit. You know, it's laundry day kind of gi. And then I have a Golden Master, which I don't think they make that anymore. It's very heavy for kata stuff. I do a lot of videos in that one. And I also have an Arawaza Kumite gi. It's super light. It's like paper thin. Don't drip any grape juice on it. Can you do a full straddle as every black belt can do? What, you mean, are you asking for the splits? And I think you're being facetious, but not all black belts can do this. Okay, not all black belts can see their shoes. You know what I mean? So, okay. You can't see my feet, but my legs are too long. Is this enough? I can't do a pancake, but I don't really need to, you know? Even in my professional dancing days, I never needed to like do the splits. Well, that's not true. I didn't need to do any more of the splits. Are they different colors? No, I don't have any black gis. I've considered getting them, but I've trained so much in like the old school traditional stuff, it would feel kind of weird. Maybe, but I mean, some people do it for weapons, right? They'll have like a black gi top, so that's an option. But the Kumite gi, the super light one, is blue. So the stitching is blue on the shoulders. But that's because Arawaza is primarily WKF, you know, and everything's either red or blue. You can see I've chosen a slightly different color scheme. I should be a red belt in BJJ. This guy's comical. Thank you, Rare Breed. Thank you. I'm glad I'm entertaining, at the very least. What's a red belt in BJJ? Because in karate, well, I don't know. In one of my Shita-ryu dojos, there was a red belt, which I never got because I changed dojos. But every other time, a red belt has meant Hanshi, which is 10th degree Grandmaster. Interesting. Can you do other things? Can you do a backflip? Backflip is an interesting thing that everyone kind of goes straight to. I can't do a backflip anymore. I used to do flips, but I fucked up my back. Okay, let me ask you this, Sebastian. How old do I look? Watch your head with that. Backflips aren't martial arts, dog. Yeah. See Gletz? Welcome back to stream. I mean, a lot of people are like, what's a black belt move? But we learn like the spinning back kicks and the hook kicks. Wow, that was a good balance, Bob. Like the hook kicks, we learn all that stuff very early. So it's like the black belt techniques are honestly stuff like this, or, you know, hiraken, leopard's blow. But that's not like flashy. But that's because I did like, again, old school karate. It's not like, we just didn't do like 720 kicks and snapping boards all the time. Diane Os, welcome to stream. How you doing? How's your Thursday? Here's a good exit. Step your lead foot back so you're almost square. Then push off the back foot to step forward with the rear foot. Then shift, step back to the lead leg. No, don't do that. I explained it wrong. It's okay. I mean, you know full well that I misunderstand it. Can you flip the nunchucks like Bruce Lee really fast? Kinda. So, I mean, there's like this stuff, right? Flipping, I don't know if you're talking about when you change it from overhand to underhand. I don't know that Bruce Lee did a lot of that, but I can do those. You know, behind here, then you grab it upside down. That's one of my favorites. Roll it over here. But the wood ones are kind of heavy, so it's hard to do fast. I have these ones. I might be able to go faster, but the chain's longer, so I'm not really used to it. This chain is way too long. You did it right the first time. Nice. I'm learning. I'm improving. All this stuff is essentially Lomachenko ladder stuff. Stephen Wonderboy is a 7th degree black belt in Tetsushin Ryu Kempo. Is this good for fighting hand-to-hand, or is it mostly his kickboxing background? Here's what I'll say. It's not even about, I mean, the kickboxing background helps, but we see him fight in a pretty bladed kind of place. So what's more important than the style, honestly, is the way he trained it, right? You can train karate for 50 years, but if you don't pressure test it with like the kind of fighting that they do in sanctioned bouts, right? I mean, point sparring is different, right? You can't, I don't like point sparring. It builds a lot of tools. It's very good technical training. It's awesome. But it doesn't allow you to build a strategy. You know, you have to build strategy in like single moves, which is not really like, it's an isolated, it's like who can do the strictest bicep curl versus a full strongman event, you know? So it's probably the way he trained it. Yeah, hitting heavy bags, sparring live for several minutes straight, no stopping. Those sorts of things are probably what did more for him than practicing side kicks versus, you know, Dutch kickboxing combos. Like change hands. There's only a couple ways really to change hands with chucks. There's like this, which is like the least practical way to do it. You know, I mean, this is the way to do it fast because you got to keep your shoulders open, but you're not really protected here. You're protected here, right? But this is so tucked in that it's hard to quickly go here. If you do it this way, you're striking yourself. So there's no real point to doing it this way in front. You can do it when you roll over something, which is what I do, right? See here I'm rolling over the back of my arm. I'm not striking myself. I'm rolling with it to dissipate that force. Gee whiz. Has anyone ever told you that you look like Andrew Tate? Well, I mean, today or what? Because today you're number 5 for Andrew Tate, 1 for Captain Underpants, 1 for One Punch Man. Thank you, gee whiz. I mean, kind of thank you. I mean, it's Andrew Tate, so, you know, but it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. I get it. That's why I'm growing the beard out. I gotta make this chin discernible. When you are changing direction, switching back and forth, don't worry about being too staggered. Hurley, I do Wing Chun. My master Ip Man took out 20 black belts by himself. That is one of my favorite scenes. I love when he goes ham and just starts snapping people's leg, and it's just like snap, snap, bum, 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 bum. The like, brrr, or you can hear like 3 hits for every one that you see. I've slowed it down, okay? It's like, brrr. Awesome. That's how I play Blade and Sorcery. I don't, well, that's not true. I do like big hits and stuff, but often I'll just go and fall into the ground. So inspiring. No, you're the first person. Sebastian Parker, do you have edged weapon skills? I've done a little kama, but I don't like edged weapons. I'm definitely a blunt person myself. I feel like blades are super dangerous to the user. You know, I feel a lot safer smashing myself in the nuts with nunchucks than a sickle. But I also like, if I accidentally give someone nunchucks, I don't feel very threatened. But if like someone disarms me and takes a knife from me, you know, I don't want to do that. So swords aren't really my thing. I can cut people enough for my own purposes. Quang, you can go more square in order to cover more lateral distance. Totally, and I'll switch too. Like sometimes when I throw a check hook, I'll kind of move offline or circle around, you know, or check back here. Step with it. KP, put your left foot in, and put your left foot out, put your left foot in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you spin your ass around. Gee whiz, you look like Andrew Tate's long-lost brother. You only get 1 vote, though. So I'll take brother. Any kind of distance I can get from him, any dilution of that nasty... Oh, he's not even a man. He's a... I don't know. He's like a golem. Not like a golem. Golem. Someone like you will naturally know how to go back to staggered. Thank you. Quan, you're too advanced at this point to allow things they told you not to do. When you started to hold you back, now you should think about things you can do. Oh yeah, and you know, I'm learning that where it's like, it's fun to engage the trolls and like, oh, you think I'm not awesome? Well, look at that, you know. But it's like, I got so much bigger fish to fry, you know. I'm thinking about like the series of hanging pulleys of my hips and spine and all these joints and like using that kinetic chain to, you know, I'm like way out here in space and those people are here at the like icy red level. So I just engage with everyone. A lot of wisdom today. You've always given me wisdom, so. But you're very flattering, thank you. Shonen, I'm really into swords. No diddy. Japanese swords to be exact. That's interesting. I've I mean, I don't like blades, but I've had Scottish like dancing swords, and the curved blade is super interesting in like a saber sort of way, where it's like you can get these weird angles, like you can get around shields or like guards or like just really odd positions, and I really love that. But something about the katana, I don't. I've done a little kendo, like not like studied, but I've like suited up and gone against like kendo dudes. And kendo is really just like smack. It's just who chops the other's skull in half immediately first. Bam. Jim, what about a lawn chair as a weapon? Decent. It has some legs, so you can like kind of use it like a lion tamer, like. Well, that's too big. That's too big. You know what I'm talking about. As opposed to things you can't do. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. And like, just because I can do the hook kicks, I've only got so many I can throw. So, you make a very excellent point. And I've been thinking about that. But I get caught up in, we do the stream and I have fun and, I forget. Lean with it, rock with it. Force. Phil Collins, you still play drums? I think that was your vote last time, but I'll put it back up. Everyone gets a vote every stream. I mean, 2 votes for Phil Collins is huge. Philly Collins. It's hard to write at this angle. 1. 5 Tates, 1 Captain Underpants, 1 One Punch Man. Good spread tonight. Very flattering. Shonen, it's the simple stuff that's effective. Hello, Emma. Keep it clean and simple. Yeah, and that's like honestly, as I don't know if you could tell, but I can be a little dramatic sometimes. I want just as much as everyone for the answer to be like this hyper complicated thing, but it's just not the truth, and it breaks my blackened, crusty little heart that because that would be a great gating mechanism, right? It's like, oh well, you need to know the 5-finger thing, and you need to train for 10 years. No, you take 6 months of striking, and you can fuck someone up. Chen. I don't know what that means. People are told not to do certain things away from fundamentals, and rightfully so. But I feel anything advanced is breaking those rules. Totally. Oh, yeah. And again, this is another excellent high-level video that I've got it on my list, actually. But it's like, that's what you learn. Like, everyone gets bent out of shape about the rules of, but in grappling you can do, but in this, and it's like, no, dude, you spend all the time learning the rules so that you understand in what ways you can break them. Sometimes very creatively, not even to like get around the rules, but like to use them in your favor. Again, something you obviously understand already. Exactly. See, you just said it. Angling. You're awesome, Sensei. Os. Love your sense of humor and confidence. Well, people come here for a lot of different reasons, Some of them wholesome. A lot of them not. But I appreciate that. You're totally right. And that's how you know, like, that's how you can tell who's really done the time. It's like, when people start playing and experimenting and trying weird stuff, not because it's like, oh, I saw this YouTube channel with 7 views of this secret fireball technique, but it's like learning how physics works so you can use gravity as a tool. That was all of our dance training was stop fighting gravity. That's not the point. You use gravity to generate the movement that you want, right? So then you start leaning into gravity. You start falling on purpose and you learn to like turn that into stuff, and it unlocks so much movement vocabulary. Things that I mean 99% of the world has never seen or thought of, just because you don't have that like perspective shift, you know? Machio, Bruce Lee broke all the rules. Yes, and he was ostracized a lot at the time. It was only in retrospect that people were like, actually, he's like pretty smart. And, you know, maybe some people argue the father of modern UFC MMA, you know? But it was against the rules to, and he was like cocky a little bit. And in the traditional martial arts, being cocky is like, you know, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Autism. That's hilarious. I gotta steal that. That's a huge compliment, Stone Cold. Kwangji. But you need a solid grasp of the fundamentals in order to break the fundamentals. Fundamentals are compounded onto advanced. Exactly. And it's like, it's not about learning every technique, it's like you learn the principles that cross everything, right? The same principles used to lift the leg in ballet, it's the same thing for lifting your leg to strike somebody. It's just at different speeds and with a different intention. So learning how things work so that you can bend the rules is how people become great, right? I mean, and those are the people we remember, you know, because they're innovators. They take something and they expand upon it, right? Evolve it like one iteration out. Angling. Have you ever had a major injury? Oh, honey. Yes. Yes, I've had major injuries, mostly to my back. I have a partially torn ligament. I've got bone spurs on my vertebrae. A bunch of them are like shaved off, like shaved down. I've got like bulging disc, herniated discs. So mostly back stuff. But I've also broken this knuckle, partially tore this ligament. I have a number of scars all over me. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, the rest has just been like extreme bruising. Well, I've kept an album of pictures of all of the like bruises, blood that I've like my first day coming back from Muay Thai, I took a picture of my shin and it was just solid like purple. In it looked like a square. It was I think I put it in a video somewhere. Kwangji. But then again, there are some things that should be basic but only few people know. Then there are some things that people say are basic but are completely wrong. Yep, and people spend so much time arguing over like who's right or like the name of the technique, or you know, no, it came from Master A, no, it came from Master B, and it's like, how about we just talk about the idea, you know, total respect to the people that gave it to us before, but they wouldn't want us well, maybe they would want us arguing over who got credit. But it's like, it's more about credit and it's like you argue about legitimacy instead of just like exploring movement. And that's what the traditional martial artists were doing back in the day. I mean, this is going to sound like a lecture. You already know this, Kwangji, but it's like back in the day, they just like dicked around and like they just got together in the middle of the night, right? Because they weren't allowed to practice fighting a lot of times. And they would just like try some stuff, like grab me, okay, try that. That didn't really work, you know, but maybe we can shift it. That's how it was created. But then we, at some point, like traditional martial artists, like a lot of them, stop doing that. And then they're like, no, we have everything from the past. We don't need to change anything. And it's like you can keep what they built and build upon it, right? I am more than the baby that I came into this world as, right? It's not a bad thing necessarily. I've accumulated more things. But it's the human part is the problem. People want credit, people want respect, people want, social standing, they want money. So those things often like take precedence when it's like, just get to the art, just do it. Just, angling. You ever see or hear of Rex Kwon Do from Rex Dojo? I think you can take him. Here's how I know I can take him. A, because he broadcasts all of his techniques and they're mostly groin or eye related. B, I had to do a kata called Sanshin for my black belt, for this one that I'm wearing. When you're doing Sanshin, you do these leg movements. And then your sensei kicks you between the legs. So your stance literally blocks the groin kick. And you have to keep doing your kata, and he's just like, bam, bam. And then people are punching you in the stomach and like slapping you on the back. And it's like, bam. And you just have to tank it all, right? People are hitting you, like pushing you. So I've literally trained specifically to fight someone like Rex Kwon Do. And he's getting older, I'm referring to the guy from Napoleon Dynamite. Oh, who's the guy I'm talking about? Emeridote, I want to say something like that. Different. Okay, Rex Kwon Do. Yeah, I can take Rex Kwon Do because I can do this. I got nunchuck skills. I got the tonfa skills. Right? Listen, you're talking Napoleon Dynamite, okay? I'm old. All right? Bow staff skills. All right? Nerdy Night Owl. Remember me? I do. See, that's good incentive for making a dope name, is that it's memorable, right? Same guy. Dawdle. Thoughts on knee stomp? Very good. It is actually one of the two kicks in old school karate, right? The first kick is front kick. Boom. Just blast them to the front. The other one is knee stomp kick. Kansatsugeri. Bam. So they teach it with a bladed foot, but you can absolutely stomp. And that's all over the kata. Like in one kata, you might do 4 or 5 knee stomps. I have 0 weapon training. That's fine. Weapons, I've only really nunchucks, that was just fun as an 11-year-old, but weapons have always been like a secondary. It's like fun. It's like playing video games for me. It's like it's not like real to me in the sense that like when I'm walking around, I have a front kick and I have boxing, but I don't have nunchucks with me. So that's like playing a little bit for me. But empty hand is my first true love. And I believe my own personal belief is instead of like a castle with strong walls on the outside and then a weak center, I think you should be strongest from the center out, right? So it only gets harder to take the castle, to defeat the person, the closer you get to the vitals, right? So a lot of people are proficient with weapons, and that's out here. But then if they get past that, then you have nothing, right? I want my holdout boot gun to be 100% reliable versus having a sniper rifle. If, you get it. The way we train our staff gets our bodies very strong, but it's very hard, like lifting weights. Oh, and, and I've snapped a bow staff, swinging it. It was very light, And we have this like kind of baseball bat move where you get a lot of like leverage at this long angle, and it was so fast that it snapped itself and like stabbed into the mat. Very scary, right? I also once I restrung my nunchucks and my nunchaku, and I was like doing my stuff, and then I did that and it flew off and hit the ceiling like 20 feet above, which is why I started super gluing the strings. It's paracord, to keep them in there. Not very traditional, but you know. Very nice. Thank you, Doddle. Huangji, we use a very long staff. See, and I like the idea. In principle, I like the idea of having this range. But it's like, and I've said this on stream to you before, so I'm sorry for repeating myself. But it's like, we have this move where you sweep the foot or you push their weapon away. I've tried going staff to staff with someone, wink, and exerting force at a distance is so hard. I just feel like weak as hell. So I prefer shorter staff so I can feel, you know, buffer. One Punch Man? Damn, okay. What do you know? I did not expect this in the slightest, but we have a second vote for One Punch Man. Okay, who do I look like? We have 5 Andrew Tate, 1 Captain Underpants, 2 One Punch Man, even though there can only be 1, and 1 for Phil Collins. Good spread tonight. Oh, what a strong way to go into Friday. One Punch Man? What's your favorite punch, Aryan? A lot of these movements are just BJJ movements. You're in side control top right now. Oh, yeah. And, you know, a lot of the, like, mobility positions, you know, really lend yourself to popping up with that foot. I like to take a pretty, like, wide angle so that I can kind of push in strange ways. You know, I don't really mess around too much with like complicated stuff. I go either for like a Kimura, Ezekiel choke. I don't really like arm bars. And then it's like I gotta get someone's elbow in my balls, and I don't really know how to navigate that, you know? If you look at BJJ as a flow, yoga movements, it'll help your back a lot. That's interesting. Like, and I've been experimenting with like, I've done a lot of shrimping in my life, but, you know, navigating on the ground, because I do spend a lot of time on the ground. Oh, it's actually really good for you. But, you know, when I'm in bed, I've hurt myself twisting part of myself, you know, and not the other. So I've kind of learned to move as a unit in bed or like on the ground to, you know, so I do some sort of like modern dance flow, but it's more like, it's like, I'll do it this way. So you like roll on your butt or like, you know, things like that. But it's sort of the same, again, it's the same principles. A lot of the reason why I can surf on top of people is because I've done a lot of partnering where, you know, someone's bent over and then you like surf on their back and then fall and then pick them up, and, you know, there's a lot of crossover. Armbar is not for smaller people. Winter, is it safe to roll with beginners who are twice my weight? Uh, that really depends. One of the big reasons, besides my bad back, that I don't do BJJ anymore is because oftentimes white belts, usually by the time they get to like blue, they've like worked it out of themselves. A lot of people will try and overpower with strength when they don't have the technique. And the other thing that a lot of white belts do is they will rush to do the advanced moves like leg locks, heel hooks, things that will snap your tendons. And again, if they muscle through techniques that have a very small window, like a heel hook, where it's like, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine, your shit's torn, it's super dangerous. So what I would recommend personally, if you're a white belt, go with someone, you can be like, listen, I'm trying to, I want to fight on a more even level, or just like, I'm going to sit out this one. You don't have to roll with everybody. And there are a lot of horror stories of people that they were like, well, this white belt's aggressive, but I'll do it, it'll probably be fine. And then they're letting them do stuff because, and then the white belt snaps something and then they're injured and then they can't practice. That's the other thing, is when you get injured, you can't train, or if you can, you cannot train nearly as effectively. So it's like, is it worth getting a roll in with someone that can hurt you very permanently? Or do you err on the side of caution? I am proof of I've taken risks when I shouldn't have, and I've hurt myself. So I advise a lot of people to be cautious, particularly with white belts. At least not on top. Quang Chi. Basically, you yoga pose onto them to make yourself more comfortable and then less comfortable. Interesting. Oh, so you give yourself like a break, essentially. You stretch your spine onto their spine to disalign their spine while aligning yours. Interesting. Bear hugging the face for the win. I taught my Tai Chi instructor 50-50 heel hook, and he did it correct right away. Damn. Again, a lot of these principles, it's like, we all operate under the same level of gravity, the same physics. Most of us have the same number of fingers, arms, legs. So it's like only a limited number of things are going to work anyway. There's a finite number of angles and positions that are strong versus weak. So if your instructor is half the person you claim him to be, which I still have those videos to watch, I've been working through the night. Every night that I haven't streamed this week, so I'm a little behind, but I'm on it. Especially hearing the way you talk tonight, it's like I gotta find out what you're on, KP. When I was in wrestling in my second year, I found BJJ. I thought I was good enough to hold my own in BJJ until I found wrong. Yeah, well, and it's like, it's not a bad instinct. Because in almost every other scenario, a wrestler can just show up to like an athletic thing and probably be pretty good, Explosiveness, power to body weight ratio, core strength like a motherfucker. So I could see where you'd have the attitude of like, oh, what, you're gonna squeeze me really hard? Oh no. Oh, ouch, But it's no joke. And I mean, the skills cross over so easily that it's like, if you're a wrestler and you add the BJJ on top, it's like giving you hooks for hands or knives for hands. It's like you just become 10 times deadlier. Another great example is wrestling head position. Totally. Yes. And that is something that like even people in the clinch, they don't really understand. They just like, they're clenching or something, and they just like hold their heads here, but they don't use it, It's like, I've seen people get away with things in the clinch just from head position. It's crazy. Just guys my neck isn't strong enough to really, go for it, but people that like plank in and like drive it, it's like, Well, I mean, that's what wrestlers do, right? You get into the hip, and it's like you drive yourself that way. Wrestling is harder than BJJ. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, BJJ is a lot of, like, technical stuff. Wrestling is technical, but it's all under, like, massive duress, massive resistance. The aggression level is just totally different. And then when you see wrestlers that go into BJJ and they just, boom, they just, like, hit them like a train, it is so great. Just taking a shot just to angle off is huge. Mm-hmm. Well, and wrestlers practice the part of getting them to the ground in that position. You know, a lot of times in BJJ, I mean, when you roll, you start, but like people just kind of accept and they just like sort of crawl into it. And it's like, you know, there's a missing piece there. All the BJJ guys, unless they practice takedowns, foot sweeps, all of that stuff, they have a huge hole in their game, in their street game. They're counting on the other guy to like tackle them. And it's like, oh, good, now I can use my, and it's like, bro, you got to fill in the gaps, you know, especially if you're gonna have an attitude about it. Kwang Ji, Dominic Cruz is good at using wrestling when people strike, or using BJJ when people wrestle, or using striking against BJJ, etc. I mean, it's kind of like rock, paper, scissors, right? I mean, he's very good at pivoting literally and figuratively, which, you know, creativity, improvisation, and switching gears is a super slept on skill. People don't want to do it. People want, I'm orthodox, I'm southpaw, I'm this, that, or the other. And it's like, okay, but Dominic Cruz is over here multi-classing, and then he's like having fun with it. There's levels, you know? Some people get by in spite of what they do versus because of it. It's like when I tried to take him down, he'd go for a Kimura. Whoa. That's interesting. KP, I had a little ego about it because I was undefeated. I thought I was good enough to take on a purple belt. I was doing fine until I wasn't. And that's how it goes, you know? Oh, the sweet smell of our own hubris, right? I can deadlift almost 600 pounds today. Certainly nothing could, you know. These canon events that we must endure, you know. Kwang Ji, one of the guys I did Tai Chi with beat a brown belt because he couldn't take him down. And that's the thing, is like, there's a ton of pride and power in specializing. But like, you need to get to that position, right? It's like if you're really good at hooks in the pocket, but you have no entry game, what is the fucking point? Why? It doesn't matter that you're that good because you can't get to your range. You have to end up there on accident, and it's like if you aren't controlling the fight, you're losing. So, you know, and some fighters like GSP, he is not, he's well-rounded, but he is not, you know, maxed out in BJJ, maxed out in wrestling. He just takes a few things that he can plug into the spokes of the wheels of his other techniques, right? So like Dominic Cruz has, from X position, he has options A through Z available in all these directions, you know? So if you don't have a way to get to your Desert Eagle, it doesn't matter that you have it. Anyway, I mean, you understand. We, KP, Kwang Ji, we understand this. But it's frustrating because, you know, it's like the people that need to hear it are just going to block it out. And it's like, I'm trying to give you the secrets of the goddamn universe here. And they're like, la, 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 I don't care. It's like, oh, fuck. But hey, at least we got us grizzled veterans to talk shop, you know. Well, and some of them will filter up to our place eventually, right? With time, with injuries, age. I mean, you know, I'm really wondering like what the dynamic of BJJ is going to be like because like I feel like especially after like when COVID hit, there became this huge movement into like there's like a cult mentality to it. And it was already kind of culty before, but um you know, now that things are like we had a big bounce back from COVID where everyone went back into person stuff. And now we're kind of drifting off back into online only. You know, people aren't going places. So I'm wondering what's going to happen to that, like, kind of bro frat attitude. At least, I mean, I've seen it in places I've been. It's not everywhere, but, you know, it's a stereotype for a reason or two. Or not. Yeah, some people just never get there. And it's, I mean, part of me is like, whatever, you know, more room for us. But it's like, it's kind of sad, you know? Sometimes it's sad to see like someone that might have potential. And I mean, some people don't, you know, that's just how the cookie crumbles. But it's kind of sad. It's like you will never see outside of the cave, you know? Like there's a whole truth out there that you are blissfully ignorant of. And I just got to talk to you as if it doesn't exist, you know? Like, nice chest hair. Thank you, Irish. Thank you. We try here. Actually, I don't try at all. Um, you know, I think if I can spread it out a little bit, I can get like a better. I don't know what's better, like the spear here, or if I kind of, you know. But basically, you know, I can have this to vent air out, but then I have a nice protective layer here. Some people wear undershirts. I come with one pre-installed. At the cost of... But this is for aerodynamics, you know. When I'm slipping punches, it gives me that extra... Oh, damn, we've been going for a while. As we always do. Talking about that chest hair, do you get nervous around Velcro? Well, KP, whenever I go to like the hospital or the doctor and they have to like, you know, put something in, they're always like, I'm sorry, I have to rip the tape. And it's like, this has been reality for me for the entire time. So it's just part of the deal, you know? I've gotten over, I mean, it doesn't feel great to have your hair ripped out, but I have so many that, you know, maybe it like the surface area is spread out, so it's like not as bad. Kwangji, some people get so good at one thing that they have an ego and can't get good at anything else. Right, well, it's like, yeah, it's like I've achieved this station. Like when I go to work, no one gives a shit that I'm a black belt, right? I have all these specialized skills that are worth far more what I'm being paid to do, but it's like, but no one gives a shit. So, you know, sometimes you got to multi-class. I think a jack of all trades, especially nowadays, is better than master of one. I mean, you have to be in the work world. You have to do multiple jobs, but you know, people know more now. Back in the day when people only knew the one style, you could have these like secret moves, but everyone knows everything now. So it's different. Everyone's aware of calf kicks and takedowns and sprawling. Kwangji, Ryan Hall pays our coach to train him in striking, but it's clear I'm better than him at striking. I got good at striking. Leaving him and not being under his thumb. Yeah, and that's hard too. You got to know like when you've absorbed everything you're going to get out of a teacher, because you can't learn everything from a single person, right? I would never tell someone that would like trained under me to not train under someone else. I would be like, please go train there, bring stuff back, and then we'll talk shop and like we'll you know. But that's you know. But you got to know, like sometimes just because someone is a big name, has a lot of clout, if you're not getting anything extra from them, you got to be smart about where you invest your time. Irish. About to put my wife in the Boston Crab. Nice. I got to learn that move. KP. Back in my day, people only knew but dubbed kung fu movies. That's how old I am. Hey, I mean, I don't know how old people think I am, but I remember that, you know, where Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was like the most people had seen. Everyone just saw Bruce Lee move faster than the camera can, and that was it, you know? So, but now people wouldn't understand, like, you could just watch UFC and understand strategies to defeat Bruce Lee, other people. It's kind of sad. I could have learned more BJJ from him, but at what cost? I wouldn't be as well rounded as I am now. Exactly right, and you have to pick your poison. You know, you can't specialize in everything, and I've personally seen that people tend to gravitate naturally towards one or the other. You know, maybe like the big super muscular guys. You know, striking is like taxing and it's exhausting, so they like the holding on and like leaning onto somebody more. I'd say Jet Li could beat Bruce Lee. It'd be interesting, man. It would be great to have the legends fight. I mean, now they're like too old to really like go ham on each other, but Irish. My hands are made of stone. He actually knows authentic kung fu. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and Bruce Lee's is like Frankenstein. I mean, he has the Wing Chun, but a lot of it is like pieced together. I mean, kind of like how I do my thing. You know? Well, folks, it's about time for Sensei to get dinner. Jackie Chan's legit. Jackie Chan not only has like the kung fu, but the movement skills from the parkour and everything else makes him far, I feel like, deadlier, because like he can dodge things in weird ways that you would not really consider, right? Like you can slip and roll, but like, you know, the move dancers do when they like drop backwards, he could do that as a dodge and then do like a scissor takedown. So he just has way more options. He clearly knows footwork. You've seen Fist of Legend. Oh yes, I have seen Fist of Legend. Chuck Norris calls me and I never answer. Wow, Irish. What's it like being the toughest person alive? I mean, how could you answer, right? If your hands are stone, it's like how do you pick up the phone and swipe? You need the conductivity of the skin. You're so tough that you've handicapped yourself. Oh, it's Wiki Feet. All right. You see, you missed. You're going to have to go back in the stream because we did a lot of foot stuff earlier. Is that hairstyle a choice, Jordan? Well, sort of. You can kind of see my balding spots. It's like really weak here and then really weak here. So I could have something up top, but the moment I saw it was going, I was like, nope, gone. I really like the feeling. You know, I can control a lot of like temperature changes with just like if I put a hat on, 10 degrees hotter. If I take it off and I walk outside, steam comes off, looks very cool. I dig it. Thank you, Jordan. Irish, I'm not the baddest man in the world, but I'm the top 3, and the other 2 sent me Christmas cards. Well, that's very sweet of them. You're so hot. Thank you. You did? I'll go spam your YouTube. You should. Can't jack off with hands of stone. Not with that attitude, certainly. Thanks for chatting with us. Thank you, KP. I got a jam, brother. Good night, Kyle and everyone. Oh, it's KP. Have a great night. Okay, because I'm a sucker for attention, Wiki, I'm gonna give you a little bedtime present, okay? Okay, we're gonna do a little of this. A little of that. Okay. Let's see what else we hold on. See, I gotta encourage people to watch the end of my videos. Because then you get the reveal. You understand? Oh my fucking god, the pecs, the abs, string bean, the body hair. Yeah, Irish, you should check out the chats that are happening above and below you. I like how we dim the lights for the move. It's really, I need the overhead for the shadow, because the front one washes me out because I'm so fucking pale. 137, not quite. I don't know if you can even hear me. 137, no, that's more like closer to my dancing weight when I was like doing ballet and stuff like that. But I have a little bit more muscle, mostly in like the shoulders, a little bit in hips. What discipline are you a black belt in? This is my Goju-ryu Shodan. There's Ishin-ryu on here. But I also have a black belt in Shito-ryu and Shotokan. Goju, see, you guys beat me to it. Goju is my first, well, it's not my first love, but it's truest to my heart. You know, it's very in close, right, Wiki? Right? So let's see. I have a decent width of the lats. So when I get the light, it's hard to get the lighting right, but I can get a good taper down, you know? Your back muscles are insane. Thank you. You have to be trolling. No, I'm not. I'm not trolling. Not trolling, okay. 1. Two. Oh, here we go. You think you had a chance against a Thai boxer? That depends on the boxer. I've got boxing, but, you know, I don't kick like a train like most Thai fighters do. So, I mean, I got good elbows. So I would love to scrap with one, but would I be confident that I was going to win? Not necessarily. I assume, I try not to, I mean, I talk a big game, but I try not to underestimate people until I've seen them fight, because I don't look like a ballerina, but I am, you know? Post-fight videos then. Okay, I don't know. I don't have a ton of footage from my fighting days, but if I can, I'm training up a couple people. Hopefully I can get a good sparring partner soon. Ever compete? Oh yes. Oh yes, my friends. I've competed. Okay. I've competed. Okay. I did Kata, Kumite, and Koburo weapons. That's awesome. Thank you. I understand. One of the best strikers I know is 115 pounds knocking out heavyweights. Yeah, and people want crutches to lean on, right? Like, oh, I'm a street fighter, so that's how I would beat you, right? That's how I can make up for all the training you've done. Oh, well, you know, I would do this, I would do that. I'll wash their hair, let them stretch it. Well, thank you. I do need to go wash it very soon here. He's the youngest Hall of Famers in boxing. Damn. Beating up grown men at 16. Yeah, and that teenagers hit really fucking hard. A lot of times they don't have the mass that an adult will have, but they have the, like, their bones are pretty long and they're invincible because they're young and they have all the horns. So they're nothing to joke about. Jordan, I competed in the Pan Am Kickboxing Championship back in 2010. Hell yeah. How'd you do? That's dope. Mark 2 Sharp Johnson. I think you've mentioned that him before. Hi, monk. I'm something of a monk. Os. I don't know if you voted earlier, Irish. Have you ever played soccer? Brianna, not really. I never got into like sports. I played hockey when I was really young, but you know, I knew a bunch of guys that did soccer in college, but at that point I was bodybuilding. So, you know, do I envy soccer players for their monster wheels? Yes, of course. Okay, I want horse legs like the soccer players that I see, you know, but I can't aim. Like, I'm very good with weapon stuff, but once something leaves my hand, I can't really aim anything. So like kicking something, I'm good at the kick, not at like putting the ball where I want it. Are you a soccer player? Do you have horse legs? That's how people think Tai Chi should look, all graceful, etc. But practice is not like that. Practice how you perform. See, Akili, I feel like that's like a straight up copy paste, which makes me feel like you're a bot. And I only really want people fawning over me if they're like for real. You know? I can program an AI to tell me I'm hot, but why? When I got wiki feet here, you know? Inside crescent. Oh, I mean, a spinning back kick would be like that. Inside crescent is like the most awkward kick. I did this earlier in stream, but we do this in Kata all the time, where like you do a Mikazuki geri, but like why? You know? How is your diet, your calorie intake, sport routine? You have really nice and fit male body. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm built a little different than most people. And that's not me trying to brag. That's just me like being frank, where it's like my metabolism is very high. I also don't have a strong food drive. So I only really gorge when I've been, you know, having a really good time. So I'm not really food driven, and I burn through carbs very fast. I can eat a ton of carbs and they will not stick to me. So that being said, I do very high protein, moderate fat, and then I kind of vary my carbs depending. You know, if I'm like holding a bunch of water and I've like really carbed up for a few days, I might go really low carb just to kind of let that stuff flush out. But I've been watching my calories and stuff for 20 some years. So at a certain point, you just get good at like eyeballing it and kind of, you know. You'll water hairs so they grow longer. I think I've hit terminal length because I don't trim these and they don't get any longer. Oh, I see. Yes, I have horse legs. Oh, hell yeah. And have a soccer game tomorrow. Well, os, I wish you luck. Hopefully get some good sleep. And I wish you well. I don't know. Soccer, I assume, has like positions, right? Like, is there like a defender or like someone who goes for the goal? What's your, what position on the field do you play? That was not an inside crescent. Okay, you are looking for the straight leg inside crescent. But A, that kick is terrible. B, the version we do in karate is bent, right? It's kind of like this, not one of these. Wiki feet. You are hot. Thank you. Sending you love. Ooh, I feel it. I feel it right here. You're also an artist in your movement. Thank you. Have you done both ballet and martial arts for the same amount of time? I don't think so. Let's see. I started dancing when I was 19. I stopped performing and training when I was like 26-ish. So like 7 years of like very concentrated dance training. And I mean, I've done other stuff since, but actually, yeah, it might actually be around the same amount of time, like 7.5-ish years if you concentrate everything together. Plus, I mean, that's like when I spent like really like head down every single day, you know, only doing dancing or only doing karate 20 hours a week, something like that. There's an Israel Adesanya seminar that is posted on YouTube. I recommend it. It shows good stuff on fakes. I'm going to look that up. Adesanya seminar. Cool. Thank you. You gave me so much good stuff to look at. What are you going to do, man? What do you mean? I mean, I'm doing it. I have a pocket pool game tomorrow. Oh, cool. How old are you, by the way? 20 years is a real time. Yeah, I'm in my late 30s. So I started doing karate when I was like 10. I started dancing when I was 19. And I'm now heading towards 40. Not quite there, but I always forget to ask how old I look before I answer the question. Brianna, I'm a left mid, but our goalie is injured, so I'm taking over. Ooh, kind of the star of the show to a degree, you know? And you get to, do you like dive or, you know, I feel like it's got to hurt to do that, right? Because you commit both hands to the save, not necessarily like catching yourself. I'm assuming. I've never been a goalie. When I played hockey, I was a defender. I don't know what that means. Save me the last dance, okay? You said you have hands of stone. How am I gonna do the lobster claws to your bunny paws? You know? Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Good job perfecting your craft. Thank you. I appreciate that. Are you left-handed? No, I'm right-handed. You look 31 to 32 max. I'll take it. And you know, I got some white. I don't know if you can see with the lighting. Coming in the beard, you know, my wisdom spots coming in. You don't smoke, I guess. No, but I did for a time. I would not recommend it. Don't ever do it. Let me see a crane kick. Okay. 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 Actually, crane. Okay, forgive me, but I am sensei, so crane is going to look more like this here. Okay. Do you drink alcohol? Not really. Well, no. I did when I was younger, but nowadays I process everything super fast, like the carbs that I was talking about earlier. That also applies to alcohol. So like, I will start to feel hungover before the buzz goes away. So like, it really taxes my system at my age now, and I just can't do it. I used to drink wine. I loved Merlot, oh my God. Port, oh fuck. But, you know, it's just not worth it nowadays. Definitely giving 30, 32. You're as old as you feel. Well, sometimes that's like 60. Got to go by. Oh, good luck on your game. I wish you even larger horse legs. Your beard, thank you. The longest it's ever been has been like maybe here. But when it gets to around here, it starts to dread, like like the Squid Man from Pirates of the Caribbean. Bald. Oh, oh shit! Show us your stretch marks. Okay, well. Okay, let's see. Oops. Oops. Okay. I'm going to turn the light back on so you guys can see. Oh my gourd. All right. Stretch marks. You can see I have some here from when my biceps blew up. A lot worse. I bulked up very quickly. I put on like 90 pounds in a year and a half or something like that. Bald and beautiful. Thank you. Carson. Bro, I want to learn karate, but my parents say I need to learn respect first, which actually I've not got one bit of trouble in half a year. Okay. Joking. Well, joke's on you because I took it literally, and here we are staring at my stretch marks. Wax on, wax off that chest. Hey, don't bring up my one weakness in chat. What's up, Adam? You missed the little show. I guess it's all a show. But we were just talking about my stretch marks. How are you doing? Hoping you have a good day. Much love. Thank you. Oh, thank you for that. You know what? Let's cut the shit. All right. Let's cut the shit. Consider it your strength. Yeah, I'm like Samson. If you take any of my chest hairs, I lose all of my muscles. Ever consider opening your own dojo? Of course, yeah. Right now, it's like I don't have the resources to devote either the time or the money to maintaining like a big space. I just have this very small space, you know. So I'll do like I train people here. I've got a couple guys I'm training as boxers, you know, but I'm definitely looking into that. So YouTube is, I hope that it's going to be a vehicle for that, where we get enough stuff going on here. I get some online classes going on. What I really like to do is also workshops. I'd like to travel around to you guys and, you know, do like a couple days intensive, you know, get these like the secrets of the ballet dancer for your high kicks. You know, actually, this is good training. Or whatever. You know, a lot of people want to learn question mark kicks, but that's where I want to really get into it. Because learning the basics is awesome, but it's really when you get into the deep, deep work that things get really interesting. I'm in Canada. Oh, nice. We're neighbors. Sort of. Also, I'm only 20. Definitely need to get in shape. I've never really took my health seriously. I'm pretty overweight. Well, here's the thing, Adam. You're 20. So you can get away with a lot at 20. And at 20, you're in the prime position to change your position, right? You have the body maturity. Your brain's still developing, right? So maybe don't get a ton of brain damage right now. But you have like you're still in your peak testosterone. You're still in your peak like injury recovery, you know. So now is the time, because let me tell you, it becomes so much easier to maintain once you do it. Do it once, and you know you work out 4 or 5 days a week. You get buff. You know you get the triceps, and then you back off, and you can just coast for a long time. So do it now while it's easy and while you have the natural hormones that are like literally performance enhancing. Going to head to bed. Oh, Swicky feet. I appreciate you stopping by as always. If I didn't train, I'd probably be obese. Baldy. Lovely. The advanced stuff is deep basics. Right. So, you got to get people through the basics and then pull them through enough. A lot of times people get the basics and they're like, okay, great. I'm going to do question mark kicks and I'm good. It's like, I wasn't done. I definitely would take this advice to heart. And listen, Adam, you don't have to start at 100. That's the other thing that people think that they have to do. It's like, oh, I have to switch to this whole lifestyle where I work out every day and I don't eat anything fun and my life is miserable. No wonder diets don't work and fitness doesn't work, right? Start slow. Go once a week and then go for a walk a couple times, right? Scale that shit up. If you've never done anything, almost anything is going to work. And the beginner gains, right? So if you've done nothing, any amount of effort is a personal record, right? So if you haven't walked for 10 minutes straight in a year, you go do that, you've just beaten your own personal record, right? You've pushed your limits. People don't want to meet their limits where they're actually at. They see Instagram, they want to go, well, I want to look like this, so I'll just skip to doing exactly what he's. But I didn't start here. I started with asthma as a kid, and I couldn't run a mile and I couldn't do anything, right? So we all start somewhere. You got to go through the canon event of the little montage where you kind of like you're awkward and then it gets better and you get stronger and it's just a little bit. Just check the box, honestly. Don't go crazy, don't be obsessive, just check the box. Do 15, 20 minutes, be done. You would be shocked at just how doing that, forget about it, and then in 6 months you'll be like, oh shit, like I'm on my way. If you put your eggs in good baskets when you're young, you will always be ahead of the game. But you got to beat a dead horse on the basics, yeah. And it's hard, like, because like we've been young, you know. Why I can't kiss this lovely bald? Well, until YouTube unlocks, like a little attachment, like they have for like long distance partners. Hey, I'll look into it. Azerbaijan #1. Rafael Agaev is a very good karateka. Yes, he he does sweeps and throws very well. He's short, and he still beats people a lot of the time. He's one of my favorite like WKF competitive guys. What do you think about running and road work? How important is it? I read the manga or comic called Hajime no Ippo. It's about boxing, and the main character does a ton of road work. It can be great for you. It depends on your joints, right? If you want to be a boxer, you don't need to run. The running is about like cardio, building up your gas tank, right? So you can do that on a recumbent bike. You can do that shadow boxing, right? It doesn't have to be road work. And honestly, I think the road work is pushed a little too much. Like it's a lot of like concussive force on your knees and everything like that when it's not really specific to like a boxer. And boxers don't have to box for 30 minutes straight. They box for a few minutes at a time and they take a rest. So I feel like your training, if that's your goal, should be more in line with that. But if you just want like a no-brainer, you can go on a run every once in a while. That's fine too. Find what works for you, right? Don't force it just because Hajime no Ippo they do road work, and in Thailand the Muay Thai guys do road work. That's their way. I have not done a lot of road work, and I've been able to fight for 40 minutes, almost like continuously. 4 hours straight MMA one day, and 1.5 to 2.5 hours the other weekdays, and you will get in best shape of your life. Yeah. Well, 4 hours straight of MMA is like 25, probably like 2,500 calories burned. How long have you been into martial arts? 20, 27 years. Remember him wrecking Raymond Daniels? Oh man, yes. And that was like a fight that everyone was looking forward to. And Raymond has like such an attitude, you know. He's so cocky that it just feels good to have like the short muscular dude just like, you know, give him a little check. Thai guys spar light too. Yeah, they do, you know. Especially the kids, they're not blasting each other. Wrestling and boxing are the hardest in my opinion. Wrestling definitely is the hardest. Boxing is another one. Well, especially because it's like you don't spend a ton of hours doing all these crazy, you know, techniques. It's just like 6 or 8 moves, and you just rep them. Extra cardio is always good, but fighting first. Exactly. Well, it's dinner time. I'm starting to feel my abs being consumed from the inside. So I think it's about time. Azerbaijani people are crazy. LOL. Some of my friends were the neighbor of a guy. How? How do you just you're just attached to like all these crazy famous people? I gotta get your Rolodex, brother. All right, party people. Os. Domodagatsamashita. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for entertaining me. Uh, Kwangji, thank you for again talking the shop. I've got more homework to add to my watch later list, so I appreciate that. My super waters. Okay. You should try judo. I would love to, but my back's a little I'm a little too late to the judo game. I love the like jumping throws. Dope. But you should try judo if you haven't already. Anyway, all right. I gotta eat dinner. You guys are gonna get me talking again. Os. All right. I appreciate you all, and new video coming out very soon, and then we'll stream again probably next week. Party on, people.